welcome to this special edition of the Mainstreet Show. I am your host, Drake Crumley. Thanks for tuning in. I am here with historical reenactor, Ken Hammontree. Mr. Hammontree, it is a pleasure to have you with us today.
And I'm excited to be here, Drake.
And we're glad you're excited. Now, clearly, since you're a historical reenactor, it is only fitting we take a bit of time to dive into the character you have passionately brought to life today, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. Before that, can you help the folks at home brush up on who General Eisenhower is?
General Dwight David Eisenhower was appointed the Allied Supreme Commander by not only Russia, but England and the United States and Austria. And they had to select an individual that could get along with all the countries in World War II against the Axis power. General Eisenhower fit it to a T. And he was appointed by President Roosevelt as the Allied Supreme Commander to begin the invasion of Fortress Europe, which of course started on June the 6th, 1944.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and get back to brass tacks here. General Eisenhower, if you were to give a message to the people of the United States of America, what might you want them to know right now?
Well, they need to know that our military is strong. They need to know that if something like Adolf Hitler comes along again, fascism, dictatorship, that our military is ready as we were. When World War II broke out, we were not ready. And we probably were a third-rate military power in the world. The Germans had at least 3 years to prepare for World War II. We had less than a year, but we did it. We all came together. And so I like that reality that Americans, and the message that you want, Americans can, at a drop of a hat, come together right away to take on some threat like Adolf Hitler in World War II.
Excellent. And as you reflect on your years of military leadership, what do you believe was, if you will, one of the greatest challenges you faced during your service?
Probably the greatest service that would be a challenge would be getting along with other countries. You know, the French had their idea of the invasion of Fortress Europe, and of course England had theirs, the Irish had theirs, Scotland. I mean, you're dealing with all these countries to take on the Axis power, and probably that was a challenge. Of course, Russia was our ally, and our very strong ally. So getting along and bringing them all together to get along for the D-Day invasion, which was extremely important.
So would you say this speaks a lot to Dwight D. Eisenhower's character?
Well, absolutely. He had that smile, you know. He would kind of look at a Russian and smile and know we're partners here, you know. We got to get along to defeat Hitler. His greatest challenge was the Prime Minister of France, and he was very obstinate and very difficult. I would say in World War II, the French were the most difficult to get along with, even over and above the Russians.
Very, very interesting. And additionally, while you're looking back at what values or principles guided your decisions, that you think, you know, are there any that remain important for Americans to hold on to today?
I would say number one would be a really good work ethic. You have to realize at the beginning of World War II, we did not have any large plants that produced airplanes, tanks, jeeps, half-tracks. When World War II started, President Roosevelt contacted the big three, Ford and GM, and they converted their plants from making cars to jeeps, planes, within a matter of months, and they started producing that. And I think the workforce all came together, and it was miraculous. We basically outspent Germany. They could not keep up with our manpower, our equipment. They just could not do it. We could lose 1 or 2 planes and replace them within a week. Germany could not. And I think that the key was a great work ethic that we had in America prior to World War II.
So essentially, the United States' mobilization speed was probably more superior to that than maybe any other country during the time.
Absolutely. We know Germany had a good 3 years to produce the aircraft for the Luftwaffe. We know the Wehrmacht, which is their German army, was probably one of the strongest at 4.5 million at the beginning of the war. But it comes down that they could not outproduce us. I mean, if they would lose soldiers, there were not really many soldiers to replace those. And it was a miracle at the Battle of the Bulge that Adolf Hitler could even bring about 275,000 Wehrmacht at the Battle of the Bulge. And they went in and they were grabbing 13-year-olds, 14-year-old boys off the street, throwing them into the Wehrmacht.
Well, we appreciate the inside look, General Eisenhower. Now, I want to turn it back to Mr. Hammontree. Before we let you go, could you share what drew you personally to portraying Dwight D. Eisenhower, and really what you hope audiences take away from your reenactments?
Well, as of now, I do 28 historical characters. This morning, when I was teaching American history, we did Johnny Tremaine and then Paul Revere, which I did. It started when I graduated from Malone University, and I started teaching, and I realized a lot of the young people did not like history. So I would dress up like different characters in the classroom. My first character, of course, was Johnny Appleseed, John Chapman, and the students just loved him. So I went from John Chapman to George Washington crossing the Delaware River. I've done Benjamin Franklin, Paul Revere, Thomas Jefferson. And all these characters started to grow and grow and grow until today, 50 years later, I have lots of costumes and lots of hats and lots of wigs to do the gigs that I'm required to do. It's bringing history alive. It's not cold facts. My students, they want to see General George Washington standing up there, with his sword, talking about the crossing of the Delaware on December the 25th, 1776. They want to see it, and that's a vision that they will always keep in mind.
Well, that is very excellent. And again, thank you very much for joining us at the studio today, Mr. Hammontree. That is all for today on the special edition of the Main Street Show. Be sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV. I'm Drake Crumley saying goodbye till next time.